Hi guys, welcome. Micron has just released its latest quarterly reports. Micron is another solid technology company that manufactures memory and storage solutions that are used in computing devices. Their market solutions include 5G, mobile, IoT, and consumer products. In this video, I'll be diving into the financials and the technical charts to answer these three questions. Is Micron worth investing in? Is it a buy or a sell at the current price? And whether Micron is trending up or down from the technical charts. So let's jump into it. The revenue has been growing steadily in recent times from $4.7 billion in Q1 of 2020 to $6.2 billion in the most recent quarter. The revenue growth can be seen clearly from this line chart that shows the year-on-year revenue growth. It is a percentage increase in revenue from the same quarter from the previous year. For example, 30% growth here is a comparison from the Q1 of 2020 to the most recent quarter, which is the Q1 of 2021. However, the revenue is still lower than the $8 billion achieved in 2018. While the revenue has dropped from the highs of 2018, the cost of revenue has increased from $3 billion to $4.5 billion. This surely is going to hit the gross profit. It has dropped from the peak of $5 billion in 2018 to just $1.6 billion. Naturally, the gross margin takes a hit too, but at 26%, it is still a decent margin. The R&D investment has been growing and has increased by about 50% since 2017. Micron has been a profitable company, but the lower revenues and increased costs are hitting the profits. Even the recent increase in revenue has not resulted in increased net income. The net income, in fact, is sliding fast. The net income of $603 million in the most recent quarter is a far cry from the $4 billion achieved in 2018. In percentage terms, the net margin is between 8% to 16% for the past 2 years. These small levels of margin leave little room for unforeseen situations and can easily drop into the rate. The earnings per share for this quarter is 53 cents. The trailing earnings per share of the last 4 quarters is 282. The trailing earnings per share is a proxy for the yearly earnings per share. The operating cash flow is on the way down as well. Micron has its own wafer fabrication facilities to manufacture its products. There is a consistent investment in plants and equipment. Micron has dipped more heavily into debt in recent times with a debt issuance of $3.75 billion in 2020. Micron's cash position is healthy and has largely remained flat since 2017. The quick ratio is at a healthy level too. Overall, Micron's balance sheet has remained healthy with the total assets growing while the total liabilities has remained flat. The bulk of Micron's assets are in property, plant and equipment. It accounts for almost 60% of total assets. Next is inventories at $4.7 billion. Goodwill, together with intangible assets, account for a mere $1.5 billion. Usually, technology companies, especially those in the 5G market space, have a much higher percentage of goodwill and intangible assets in the form of patents. Although they are categorized as intangibles, they form the value that the company brings to the market. It gives them the edge to capture market share and command high margins for their product. Looking at the overall weakening of Micron's financials over the last 3 years, Micron has probably lost its edge. One of the reasons that they can remain profitable, although at a lower level, is due to their large asset ownership and low debt. Their debt level is about 11% of total assets. This is one of my favorite charts that shows how profits can easily turn to losses in the form of interest expenses due to high debt levels. Micron's interest expense is just $42 million compared to a net income of $600 million, a mere 7% of net income. The book value per share is at 36 currently and has been growing. The book value measures the net asset value, which is total assets minus the total liabilities on a per share basis. At the current price, Micron is trading at a multiple of 2.3 times price to book. This is very cheap. Any value below 5 is a value buy. The PE to growth ratio is at 1 currently and was at 2 in the previous quarter. The PEG ratio measures the PE in terms of year-on-year growth that I explained in the earlier part of this video. Micron's stock price has gone up from $45 in Q3 of 2020 to $84 currently. At the same time, the rate of revenue growth is between 12 to 30% in the most recent quarters. A PEG ratio of 1 indicates that the price is increasing at the same rate as the revenue growth. A ratio above 1 is when the price has gone up too fast ahead of revenue and is not supported by fundamental revenue growth. Investors look for a PEG ratio below 1 for undervalued growth stocks. Micron still needs to produce a few more quarters of consistent revenue growth and profits to be considered as a value buy. Let's take a look at the technical analysis. Micron's price has accelerated sharply since the big drop in March of 2020. The price has started to move up in a base channel over here, followed by an acceleration channel. Micron is now doing a sideways consolidation with overhead resistance at $95 and support at $81. The volume is quite decent, but with more selling pressure rather than buying demand. So, is Micron worth investing in? It is profitable, but the profits are clearly on the way down. But it has a strong balance sheet and big asset base. But the most important asset for a technology company is technology and patents, which does not seem to be the strength of Micron. Is it worth it at current prices? The valuation of 2 price to book is a value. And although the current PEG is at 1, it still does not present itself as an undervalued growth stock. Technically, the price has risen sharply and is consolidating right now. I'll pass Micron at this price and look at the 5G stocks that have much better profitability and are growing at a faster pace. Speaking of which, I just released a video comparing the 5G stocks Qualcomm, Skyworks Solutions, Qorvo, and Broadcom side by side. Do check out that video too for insights on what is the best 5G stock to invest in right now. Subscribe to my channel if you have found this sharing useful and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of my future videos. I'll be doing a video on Intel next. Do let me know if there are any other stocks you would like me to cover. And I'll see you soon in the next one.